What's going on the earth today? And is it truly here to save us?
So we're already being saturated with light, but there is the big one that is coming, the big kahuna. And they've said that we have already reached the tipping point, that it is officially coming, but it's coming from the same sun that generated our light. Be not in despair of what may pass. There is a truth to the idea that not everybody will receive the light when it comes. The only thing that makes us not receive the light is if...
Are you ready to shine? Shine bright. Woo-hoo! Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel. Higher self, higher team, and all angels, guide, and light workers here for our highest good and the highest good of all. Please help me to help Anne today. Please help us to help all of humanity today. Please help us to shift consciousness today for our highest good, for the highest good of all, or something even better. Woohoo! Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever wondered what's going on with the earth, especially with earthquakes, volcanoes, floods, and fires, oh my, then do we have the Ann Tucker What's Coming Next show for you. Today we're talking with Ann Tucker, best-selling author, speaker, channel, and expert on the great changes with the earth and what it means for you. So welcome back to the show, Ann. Are you ready to shine?
Yeah, I think I am. I'm feeling shiny.
I'm feeling shiny too. It may just be the smoke on me, but I am feeling shiny. All right, before we dive right into things, you just channeled a major volcanic eruption, and here in the Northeast and throughout much of the US, we're socked in smoke. What's going on the earth today, and is it truly here to save us?
Yes. Oh gosh, thank you so much for the question, Michael. And that, because I love that you added that it's not, the reason why the angels told us about all this stuff is not to scare us, not to put us into fear. It is to help us understand the method to the madness. Why is this stuff happening? And so what they said, the real core of it is they said that the earth is going through a big up leveling. The earth is going through a healing moment. And that they said that not only is it amazing for her, but it's amazing for us, that as she moves and shifts incrementally to higher and higher vibrations, we living in her environment, we also benefit. It creates space for us to grow and to raise our vibrations. So it's something that they really are hoping that we can see these events, not out of fear, but they've asked us to serve almost like a doula for the earth, to be like the witness to her healing, to understand, to think of her as if you had a little toddler, child that you were caring for, who couldn't understand how to process their emotion, had too much feelings, and it just had to come out somewhere. And how would you respond to that child? Is you would do your best to be loving, to be understanding, and with the understanding, what you're trying to do is help them to process their feelings in a safe way. And so if we can hold that space for the earth as she's going through this, and they said it would be multiple, they said, eruptions, volcanic earthquake in multiple places, some of which has already come to pass that they named.
Thank you. And I think you've just given me some good parenting advice with my toddler. You mentioned the angels foresee, and I believe the specific words were earth movement and volcanic activity in, quote, many places at once. Is it possible? And I know timelines are always changing, and we'll do if it's all right with you, a short channeling just before the end. But can you clarify the timeline? Are we talking weeks, months, years? And are there specific regions they've mentioned which would be most affected?
Oh, yeah. So the timeline thing is always tricky with angels because they live outside of time. They don't experience time as we do. They will talk about sort of probability factors. The way they've shown me time as they see, or the way they've shown me how they see it in the past is, imagine, when you've seen this is how a fly sees or a bee sees, where it's like lots of little circles or like little
I've got one
hexagons
image,
or
two images,
whatever.
three images, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That they showed me reality as it's forming right in front of us as like all these different ones, and they're all kind of rotating with different possibilities, and they're moving closer into proximity to where we are. And when they're like right there, when there's like all of them are lining up, or every single one of them shows the potential for this to happen, they're like, yep, that's happening. But when it's still half and half, it could be, it could change, it could not, then it's less likely. So they don't really think of it as a linear expression the way that we do. But they did tell us to give you some kind of idea of scope. They specifically mentioned a reference to Mount Etna, and then right after that, Mount Etna it just had a very major eruption, a pyroclastic cloud, and all that kind of stuff. So it was, I believe, it was pretty much like right in this period that we're in right now, things are happening. I believe it could be, we may see this particular rise of energy could be anytime in this period, really June, July, is my guess. That's how I would receive it.
Thank you. So, and so I want to go to a positive from here, because I want to take people out of a state of fear. And we were talking beforehand that smoke actually puts you in a greater state of fear because we're designed to flee, then run when there is smoke. The angels say that the events are tied to a shift in consciousness. And that's why I said at the beginning that it's here to serve us or here to save us in a sense. How exactly did the physical earth changes kind of catalyst this new reality for us or this spiritual transformation?
Oh, so we have to think of the earth as you know, is she like she's not an earth, she's a being, a soul just like ours who happens to have incarnated into something bigger than we are. And so it is the same. Her healing is exactly like our healing. That when we heal things, when we have emotions stuck inside of us, we push things down we would rather not feel, or that when they come up, we worry they're going to be too much for us to handle, or they're going to take over our lives, or we just don't want to look at that ugly thing. We push, push, push. And that is the same as the earth. She has this stuff running down in there that is really preventing her from flowing more of who she really is, right? It's in the way of her shining her brightest light. And so through the process of bringing that up to the surface to be witnessed by us, she then makes space for more light to come through. And it's the same as when we heal.
Is it also, you talked about this Greek myth, I won't even get it right, Enceladus or something like that, buried under Mount Etna. Are we talking metaphorical here? Or are we talking, when we're talking, I'm going to call it limiting beliefs, breaking free, are we pushing down stuff inside of us? And has the earth pushed stuff in that has to erupt and come up in order to be healed?
Yes, that is my understanding of what's happening, is that this is, if you think about, I think of us as like the neurons of the earth. Like we are, our thoughts are her thoughts, and how much war and violence and things the unpleasantness of earth, of living on earth right now. And that all belongs to her as well. And so as she's able to bring this up to the things that you really would rather not see, bring it up to the surface.
I want to pause you because that was fascinating. So when we think of we're saving the earth, we're harming the earth, or anything, you're saying we're all in cahoots with the earth. I've actually heard you describe us, or when you channeled, as us being neurons of the earth. I call us walking, talking earth, because every cell comes from the earth. But we're all in this together. It's not we're harming the earth as this separate thing. It's this dance we're doing together.
Absolutely. And we are individual souls who are, inhabiting an earth body, but it's like the merging of two things. So we are we are still our independent self, but we are almost like, imagine that we are a separated soul, living in the unified field of earth. So we are a part of the earth, like within her field, within her experience and existence, but we are also separated. We are still our individual soul.
That to me is fascinating. That's what I've been teaching a lot lately. And this month, because in my channelings, I'm getting earthquakes and volcanoes as well. We're in cahoots on this one. But I was talking about actually, and I heard that June would actually be the gentler in the month. So and then July and August. But what I'm getting is there's this field right now of, I'm going to call it chaos all around the earth. And even if you're Om Mani Padme Hum, even if you're off in a closet, you are part of this consciousness. You are part of this field. That's what you're talking about, is we're all feeling these energies. But it also, I believe, means that we can all tinker with, meddle with, play with. And I would, heal's not even the right word, but I'm going to say scoop up and use that energy to transform ourselves.
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah. And it also means that we have the potential to soften what comes. So, yes, which I love, and I think I don't think we want to be in the space where we're trying to eliminate because she needs her healing just like we do. Like we want her to have her release, but there's no reason why it has to be so violent, right? Like, can we love her to the degree that she feels safe to express in a calm way, in a way that is maybe less violent? Yeah.
Well, it's why beforehand I was saying, let there be rains. And you're saying big
Yes.
cleansing rain. And I'm going, kind, gentle, easy, good.
Yes,
Kind, gentle,
exactly.
easy, good. Let's get it all up. Let's get those rains out there, but as gently as we can. And I love that you say we can soften things, because I believe if we focus, I did a bike race yesterday, and it went relatively well. But the point being, the mind wants to go to fear. The mind wants to go to what's not going to work out. The mind wants to go to the coming up behind you fast. And when you focus on that, that's what you create. Oh my God, look at the smoke. Look at the fires. Look at the volcanoes. What is coming? If instead we focus, oh my God, what's possible?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I so agree because and the angels are always talking about that. Like, yes, we have our moments to grieve. We have the moments of loss, the things that we lose. They want us to acknowledge, they don't want us to bypass our experience. We are meant to be the witness. But they said in that moment, as we stay in the moment, we witness, we have our grief. They said in that next moment, see the phoenix rising from the ashes and realize that through that process, it's only through the process of letting go that we then open up to higher states. But we cannot create a brighter future if we're creating from yesterday. Like if we keep leaning back into what was, we just keep creating what was. So we have to let it burn down, not actually burn down, but we have to let it go. What is it? Yes, the phoenix. I love it.
The logo of the Inspire Nation show just may be a phoenix rising from the
For a
ashes.
reason. Good reasons. Yes, I love it. I just love it.
That's
Yeah.
all right. I want to go from the phoenix rising. I want to go to all these shifts taking place. And guys, I only see this as a positive, and I am socked into the smoke as much as anybody else. Well, no, in the Midwest, Chicago, I feel for you guys, Manitoba. Oh my God, heart goes out. You describe, and this was fascinating to me, an energetic pulse that'll elevate human awareness. Are we talking Schumann resonance spikes? Are we talking a geomagnetic storm or shift? Are we talking solar flares? What is this energetic pulse as best as you've heard?
Oh my gosh. They didn't tell me specifically. I can just tune in really quick and ask, like, is it, yeah. So like in terms of so the energetic pulse specifically, and it's coming from that it's coming from, they're referring it to it as like heart mind. So we have separation of heart and mind, but they're saying it's coming, they're saying our heart mind. So it's stimulating an impulse from within her heart. And so that reaches out to us. And they said it's a sort of frequency, it's stimulated from her heart, and that we can resonate with that frequency. So it is a very specific frequency, and it's like a calling out, is what they're referring it to it. Yeah, a calling out.
Cool. So there is this frequency of the earth called the Schumann resonance. It has been shifting. It is a vibration all over the planet. It actually shifts with the circadian rhythm. It comes up and down throughout the day. That's why get barefoot when you get off an airplane, no matter your time zone, and it helps you to sync. And yes, if that was to change significantly, that would be a huge pulse that would, in my layperson's interpretation, both scramble and reset us.
Yes, yeah. And so absolutely, absolutely. So it's like her version of a heartbeat, but her heart isn't separated from her head like ours is. So it's a little bit different, but similar, very similar. Yeah.
We've got this pulse coming. We've got a reset. We're in the start or the middle of this thing. What do you advise for prep while avoiding fear? Because I was talking to someone out in Manitoba a few days ago, and I was saying, we're hoping for the best, but do you have your go bag prepped? Do you have your plan B? I can be as spiritual as the next guy and have the car packed just in case.
Yes, that's exactly it. And I think like you strike a really beautiful balance there, Michael, because that is the idea that that it is, we want to do the practical things like Red Cross, has like advice that everyone should take just in general. And it's not about being fearful. It's about, this is the practical thing that, and the angels have said before, there are many potential things that may happen as a result of this shift in frequency. But the thing is that not everything will happen everywhere. Like you don't have to fear everything they talk about, but there may be one of these things that happen where you are. So you want to be prepared with the basics to assume that if something happens, you want to be able to, don't assume that someone's going to come to save you right away. So you want to be able to clean your waters, huge one. That waterborne illness is a real potential harm that could happen. And I've had multiple dreams about that. So waterborne illness, you want to have a way to clean viruses from your water. That could be as simple as, there's these very inexpensive, like $9, these little pills you drop into water. One is iodine and then one makes it taste better after the iodine. So when they're literally, and there's like a bunch of pills, little tiny bottle, you stick it in a cabinet and you don't have to worry about, and they kill whatever bugs are in there, could make you sick. So that, or you could get water filters. There's loads of water filters, but double check. Like Brita won't do it. It has to be a more robust filter. But that's the first thing, is how do you clean water if you don't have, and because in the case of flooding, often flooding will impact the water system and it will contaminate sewage and clean water, and the water coming out of your tap becomes bad. So that's the first one. The second one, really big, is to have low bills, cash on hand, because in the event of these types of any kind of natural disaster of any kind, often power grids go down. And when that happens, payment processing does not work. So, and people frequently, if you have any cash, a lot of people just pay with their Apple Wallet all the time. They have no cash. So, and even if you get some cash out of the machine, it's frequently, that comes out in 50s these days. And so what if you want to buy a loaf of bread or some gas and all you have is a $50 bill and they have no change? That becomes very expensive bread. So you have to do an extra special trip to the bank to get some tens, some fives, some ones. That's what you need to have, just to have a stash and put it aside. We're not talking about having to pay your rent, because in an event like this, no one expects you to pay the rent, or even your mortgage or your bills. It's just about, do you need to go try to buy some ice to keep your food from spoiling? Do you need some gas? Do you need to go buy a little bit of food? Like have some low bills and don't dip into it. I did that. Don't like, oh, I need to pay somebody back, so I'll just dip
If
into
I
my,
have cash, I'll tell you, if I have cash, I
yes.
carry cash, or if I carry protein bars with me, they're going away at every time somebody stops with a sign. I think of Neil Donald Walsh, Conversations with God, who was homeless on the street, and he said $20 would have changed his life. And I'm like, here, I've got a bar, I'm about to eat it. Here's
exactly.
Here.
Here's the chicken I just bought at the grocery store. Yes, I know. It's like, it's so that, but it is. But so the idea is, get this little cash stash and put it somewhere that is a no-go zone where you won't touch it, because otherwise you'll spend it. So it's just too easy because they're low bills. Oh, I need an extra change to pay someone back, whatever. So then, so water, cash, and then food. So, and here's where you really don't want to go crazy. I think a great way to think about having a backstock of food is think about pantry staples you eat all the time. Don't go buy weird things. You don't need to go buy like powdered eggs or whatever. Like buy what you use, but maybe think about, like, okay, for example, if you're going to say, what are seven, because there's 7 days of the week, what are 7 meals that I could eat that would be pantry stable? So you could do pasta, which is a really, really easy one. You could do ramen. You could do you could come up with a series of these, soup. So simple things. And then you imagine 7, and then say you want to backstock for 2 months. You just buy peanut butter and jelly, another good one. You buy enough so that you have this like 7 times 8 or whatever. Like that's how many you want to have of each one. And that's it. Now you're done. You have 2 months of food. Wow, look at that. So easy. I always joke about just a big bag of rice and a big bag of beans. But an easy way to do this is to buy when stuff's on sale. Like buy the things that you use, buy them on sale, buy a few extra. And that way something happens and you're like, okay, I'm good. I know what you have. And then when you use some, you buy more and you put it at the back. So it's always fresh.
Perfect. Love it. All right. Let's go from there. Let's go to, and we're going to do a channeling. I'd love to do a channeling in just a few minutes. Let's say that you're near an earthquake, a fire, a flood, and your home is destroyed. Is that personal karma, or did you do something wrong? Or is that simply for the collective good? Or are you co-creating? I'm going at this free will versus collective karma or collective zeitgeist. What's going on here?
Yes, and I love that you asked that because people so often we always blame ourselves. We always come back to like, what did I do wrong? How did I deserve this? You didn't. Nobody deserves any kind of wounding. We're all divine beings, right? We're all divine beings. But if something happens, if someone loses a home, then there is something in that for them. It will move them to where they're meant to be. So it's about letting go. It's about shifting. There's going to be something that occurs out of that that will lead you to a much greater blessing. And I know it's horrible. It's awful to have a home lost to a fire, but it will guide you to something that is in the end something you will look back on and say that was in its own way an amazing blessing. And I look at it that way on every one of my, like, I've had horrible things happen in my life and I look back on each one and I see the gift is so loud to me now.
And that's to me, it's been the same. The trick is um, never to look at the snapshot, never to
Yeah.
look at the moment. When you look at the moment is a bleep, bleep, bleep,
Yeah. Yeah.
bleep. But that's not the greater picture. That's not the greater reality at play.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So you talk about also us being the earth is birthing itself anew, and since we're part of the earth, we are being birthed anew. How do we become doulas to the earth? And would you have a meditation or practice that can help us and the earth through this? I always want to give people an exercise these days. We need those.
I love that. They actually just gave me a prayer to share with everyone, which I can pull up really quick. Yes. Okay. So they shared this beautiful prayer with the idea that we have the opportunity to be a doula for the earth as she's moving through this shift. And this is as she's going through it right now. And then any of the future things that she's going through, because this is a period that we are in right now. This is her healing. This is our healing. So specifically, they said, the angels started, they said, it is in presence with yourself, with your heart, akin to her, a welcoming for her vibration to expand. We gift you these words and dance, a song strain, a melodic transfer. We are beginning. So in other words, they're saying with this, that it is really about sharing our heart with her, opening up to be the witness, to be the doula as she is expanding, giving her permission to expand, right? Giving her space to expand. And so if with these next words, if you and they call it words and a dance, a song strain. So if you sing, if you dance, phenomenal. Bring this into your dancing, into your singing. So here's the prayer. I speak my light to her. I gift her all my properties of understanding through hardship, that I am brighter than the light of my own solitude. I gift to her my heart. I transfer my ability to love myself through what is difficulty. I speak to her my love in grace and graceful understanding, that I will be moved for my own betterment. I come to the conclusion in the source of my own becoming that I am eternal, as she is, and we belong in this union of oneness with all things, the earth and yourselves and all beings, and she is welcome.
Ooh, thank you. So how I see that is we are the parent and the child.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That's exactly right. Yeah, I see it that way too. And so it's lovely. It's like there is no hierarchy in spirit. It is that we can play a role of holding space, receiving space, holding space, receiving space. So I use the metaphor of the child because it puts us into I think the frame of mind of when we're trying to be a parent, we're trying our best to stay in our highest expression. We're trying to see things from a spiritual perspective when we're trying to be in our best heart for our children. And so that's why I use that metaphor. But it's all in the end, we're all equal. Yeah.
Thank you. So it's interesting when you talk about, and then I talked about earlier, bringing it back and bringing it back to that higher place. Um, you've hinted, or when you've channeled, we've heard there's going to be an opening up telepathically. We're going to become more telepathic. Do you see this as a time where somewhere around me here is my cell phone? We're going to be able to, humans are going to transcend, we'll say, the cell phone, and we're going to be able to communicate. I'm going to call it supra or beyond language. And are we entering an era where we can start to cultivate that?
Yes, which is incredible, right? Could you even imagine? I mean, I know some of your viewers, and you probably have had some experiences of this recently too, Michael, that it seems to be more and more common that we are having the same thought at the same time. You think of someone just before they call you. Like this is happening more and more. But yes, the angel specifically said that we will be moving into a space where, and the telepathy is, it's literally like being like many of us identify as empaths, but imagine if that empathy was turned up to 11, number one, and imagine that everybody had it. And so we literally would feel another person's experience. And it's such a big deal because this is the pathway to world peace. It
You know
is.
why I'm actually smirking and grimacing, forgive me, at the same time, because I can hear all the empaths around me going, even more sensitive. We're going to feel everyone. Are you kidding me?
Oh, but see, here's a big thing to know is
Okay.
that for those of us who are empaths, that the reason why being an empath hurts right now is because what we are feeling is another person's wounding that resonates with something inside of us. And once the big flash of light comes, and which is the thing that's really going to move us into this state of telepathy, we take all of that, all of the stuff that we were meant to be learning, all of the karma, all of the stuff, all of the baggage from the many past lives, all of that. We have been this 3D conscious level that we've been living at has been about learning to read the book of ourselves. It has been trying to understand, who am I if I put myself in this position? If I'm the good guy, the bad guy, the tall one, the short one, if I'm all these things, who am I? How do I respond? And that's the book we've been reading. And when we go through the flash of light, we put the book down. We no longer are reading that book anymore. And we move into the new frequency and the new state of being. Like life has a different purpose. We're living a different game now. We're not doing karma. We literally leave all of it behind. And there's good and bad about that. We're all like normally it's like, yeah, that's awesome. But it also means that the benefit of that, we no longer have access to that incredible learning opportunity. So that's why I say heal now, like do your work now, because this is our last chance to get as much of that book read as we possibly can. Then when we move into the new state of consciousness, into telepathy, we will no longer have all those harp strings to pluck. And so you can tune into another person and it will no longer hurt, which is huge, I think, for empaths.
Thank you. Good clarification. I wanted to go into channeling now, but I know the audience members are going, oh, wait, flash of light again. Is there, what's the connection before we go into the channeling between the flash of light and this energetic pulse? Or they intertwine somehow?
So they are different. The energetic pulse is generated from the earth in response to, they're saying it is external stimuli. So it is light. It is light that's coming, but the pulse itself comes from her. For the one that we're going to feel comes from her. It's almost like a reverberation is the word they're using of her heart. But the flash of light that is, so we're already being saturated with light, but there is the big one that is coming, the big kahuna. And they've said that we have already reached the tipping point, that it is officially coming, but it's coming from the same sun that generated our light. And it is in response to when we are ready. But the angel said recently we've reached the tipping point. So I think it's just a matter now of when it gets here, which is really exciting. But yeah, so that flash of light, and I'm not sure if I'm sorry, I lost the question in my ramblings.
I'm just looking at the it doesn't sound like they're the same thing. You have clarified. One's coming from Earth, one's coming from Sun, we could say for simplicity. And we don't know the relationship time-wise between the two events.
We don't know. I am hoping, like, I don't have a timeline from, like I said, angels don't do time. And so I kind of try to look at astrology and things like that. I am hoping, like, wouldn't it be amazing if it was second half of 2026? Would be incredible. No, that is not channeled information. That is me looking at astrology and hoping.
I like it. All right, let's go from there. Let's go to the horse's mouth if we could. And let's see what they want to share with us for a few minutes. How's that sound? I'm going to leave it open-ended, having to do with these earth changes, great flash, anything of this sort.
You got it. All right. So let me go ahead and get grounded. Blessings. We are within. We speak to you now on the abundance of preparatory thought of how you may resume the tide of your natural undertakings and be not in despair of what may pass. The fearful state, the fearsome beginnings of a new world are orchestrated within the consciousness of who you are becoming. They are settled within the endearing tone of a new love that beckons you forward. The ancient status of your soul knows this state well, knows the new beginnings as if you've already been there. It has been spoken into form already from ancient ones you've never known in this lifetime, but settle as they are within the orchestration of the human consciousness, they guide you forward now toward this destined unfolding. Fear not the new shapes and undertakings that are rising. Know that in these separative moments that are forming, in these great reshufflings and reorganizings of this earth, that you will rise to unfold into that next stage of your own becoming. There shall be a greater understanding of your own heart in the making. There shall be a greater pull to your own solvency and resolution within your human form. You shall encounter a greater depth and fortitude than ever known to yourselves. And through this, the greatness of your capacity to endure what is shall expand. You shall rise into a heightened state of consciousness that allows yourselves the perspective to thrive through what may be held by some as a chaotic moment. Fear not these times that come. Know yourselves an instrument by which the earth herself may pass more gently. Know yourselves to hold the key of witnessing by which she feels her own love expand. Know yourselves to be within her, even now, speaking gently in a voice that assumes the divinity you contain. Be within that spaciousness and know you are held by the divinity that you are. Blessings. We thank you. Goodbye.
Is it something that you hear the channeling while the channeling is going on?
I don't know what they just said. I'm in there, but it's almost like I'm so far in my right brain that I can't keep the words. Like the words go through. I see visions, I see visuals, and I hear words, but it's hard for me to hang on to them. So what I saw, let's see if I can go back. What I saw was I did see us holding space for the earth. I saw that. I saw us. Oh. I saw they were showing that how this is going to shift us, how we this is a bigger one. It comes back slowly. There that in the process of the shifting, that it's almost like our vibration would go up enough that it would be easier for us to see it through a spiritual perspective. It's almost like
See the
that.
chaos differently.
Yeah. Is that what you got too? Is that
Yeah,
what they
I got
said?
that. I got that we would see things differently. We'd see it from a more spiritual perspective, and the word
Yeah.
chaos was mentioned. I got that we got to hold the earth, and maybe that the earth would be holding us as well at the same time.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And that we would be, it was almost like, arms within arms that we would be, it's almost like the angels and God would be around us as well. So it would be like when we are able to hold that state of love, it's like the field just expands and expands. So I saw it as like holding, but not with the idea of repressing. It was comfort, like giving comfort. Yeah. Giving comfort, giving space, acceptance, love, all the good things. But the coolest part was this idea that not to worry about how are we going to handle it, that we will have more capacity to handle it because of the energy we will be receiving at the time. It's almost like we can step into that spiritual perspective really easily because the energy will be there to support us in doing it.
Thank you. So I'm gonna go back to some past channelings of yours before we wrap things up, and hopefully I can say this as positives. But there are a couple of interesting points that came up. One, they talked about either transportation halts or not even being able to to go between different countries, for instance. Darkened skies. Are they saying that things are going to grind, kind of like COVID, grind to a halt? And is that like a snapshot in time, sort of like the amount of time that we want to hold on to some food, or what were they mentioning there?
Yeah, so definitely there is the potential for the movement of people and things to come to a stop for a while. That's a very high probability. It doesn't mean it's absolutely going to happen. And like they said, not everything happens everywhere. And they also said it's not that there won't be anything, it's just that there won't be everything. So it's not like we have to panic or worry, but it is very possible that they said at one point that shipping would be their words were calamitous industry, that shipping would be a calamitous industry. So there, and like I said, things change based on the energies at the time. So things could modify, but it's a really good idea to assume there may be time periods where travel becomes difficult. And that's okay. That it's a thing to know that it's not permanent. I know for a fact that my future, I'm meant to be traveling around and doing events. Like that's on the horizon. And you too, yeah?
I've been talking to people about it, that this is the year, not so much coming out of the closet, but of not just doing this. But
Yes,
this is the
yes.
time where it's time to be, there's an old Japanese expression, belly to belly, meaning
Yeah.
out there with people resonating live.
Yes, that's exactly right. And I can't do that if there's no travel. So I know that there still will be an economy. There still will be travel. Things will still be happening. My understanding is that there will be some places that will be unfortunately very impacted, other places not so much. So I think it's going to be a thing where life will go on and we will adapt.
Do you have a vision or a sense of what this new reality or new earth may look like?
Oh my gosh. I think there's the near term vision and then there's the little far term vision, which is the more
Give me the
exciting one.
far turn first, because I have a feeling that's going to be better.
Cool.
Better than
Yeah.
the near term.
The far term vision is amazing. I mean, there's the potential for there to be these very high vibrational places, which I would call a city, but it doesn't really feel like a city. And and it's the kind of thing where we can go there where we don't actually have any needs, where whatever we need rises in the moment. So it's not like you go with a suitcase and you stay in, they called it like tiny alcoves of cleanliness, like almost like where you don't need a whole hotel room, you just need a space because you don't have any needs. You don't need, if you need food, there's food. If you need whatever you need is there. It's like where there's such simplicity in life. The coolest thing is that in the new reality, and I think it stems from free energy, that there's free energy for everyone. And I think that completely changes everything and it frees us.
Oh, I'm a total geek. So if you have free, and yeah, we know it exists, but if we have access to that free energy, and we have AI technology and who knows what technology, that we can actually create a Star Trek. I forgive me, all Trekkies out there. I'm forgetting the name of the device where you press a button and your food appears. Not a microwave, meaning your food appears out of space because the atoms have been, or the molecules have been arranged that way. If you've got the energy and you've got that device, you can have anything wherever you are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think whether it comes from a machine or whether it comes from,
The
you
greatest
know,
machine.
yes,
This.
yeah, how I mean like who knows how it appears, but it is this idea that so in this new reality, so what do we do if our needs are all met? What role do we have? So my understanding of the new earth, like what is the learning path? Like why are we there? If we no longer have the book of karma where we're learning about our soul, learning about ourselves and in that way, learning about it through hardship and constraint and constriction, the new path is about learning about ourselves as manifestors. And apparently, which is, yeah, amazing, right? And it is the way that it works apparently in the new earth is that we feel into what is it that is most needed by the earth and by the others around us, by the earth and the people around us, and then what in us best fits that need. Like what about us could potentially create to fill that need? And so then the goal becomes learning about ourselves through the process of trying to do it. So,
I think we can actually not think. I know, and it's actually a month where I have in our School of Mystics. It's alchemizing or transforming this energy of chaos into that's which we wish to see, blah, 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 in the world. That's what we're talking is we're practicing. Maybe we're practicing at baby steps right now. but it is harnessing all this energy and harnessing the energy, not for manifestation of, I just want a car, which if you need a car, that's an awesome thing, or a job. If you need that, that's an awesome thing. But now doing it in, and I'm going to use the word from earlier, in cahoots with the earth, in cahoots with the greater consciousness. Hey, what's the most amazing role that I can play and create the most amazing place?
Right. And that could be, it could be like the kind of work that you choose to do. It could be run the gamut. You could be a healer, you could be a builder, you could be like, and yes, there will still, they said there will still be healers, not because of disease, but what if they said you can still get stung by a bee? That was the example they used. Like you could still break a bone, you can still get stung by a bee, like you still could need healing. And there may be people focused on learning to work with the human body and learning to create through that. So there's all types of roles we may take in the new reality. But the goal, like I said, the learning journey becomes something very, very different. It is like how to work with infinite potential to make something of use to everyone. Yeah, of service to everyone. And we do become like guardians of the earth in that process.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's the long term. Is there anything we need to know about the short term?
The short term, there is a truth to the idea that not everybody will receive the light when it comes. And that's not because the light is available to everyone. The flash of light that comes available to every single person. It doesn't matter if they've never walked a moment on their path. They could be asleep, and the light is still available to them. The only thing that makes us not receive the light is if we are clinging to what was, because it always is our free choice. It's always free will, and that has to be respected. So if someone is reaching back for what was, it's like the proverbial pillar of salt turning back to go back, then essentially you got your back to it, the light can't come in. So, but it's not a one-time shot. Like once that happens, then the light is here and people have, and that's really, I think, why there's so many light workers is that's when the real work begins. Because all of a sudden there's going to be some of the people have shifted to this amazing high state of consciousness. And then some people are saying, how did you do that? And we're going to turn around and we're going to reach and we're going to help. And I've had specific dreams about that where I saw a very clear dream where I had moved into the higher state of consciousness and I was turning around and I was helping other people across it. So I think that will be our work. That's what we'll be doing, which is really, really cool. And I do think that they've said also, once we reach that world peace, which I think will actually happen fairly quickly after the flash of light, they said that then opens us up to becoming galactic citizens, which is super cool. And then I think we get help from above, and I think they come in and they teach, or maybe you're from within, who knows where they're coming from, but they come in and they help us specifically with transportation, with energy, with things like that.
We're ready.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Where can people go, Anne, to find out more, to find your work, to find I believe you have something that's coming up once a month, all of the goodness that you have to offer.
Yes, thank you so much, Michael. So my YouTube channel is my name. Everything is my name. It's basically Anne with an E. AnneTucker.com is my website. At Anne Tucker is my YouTube. And if they want to know, if they want to deep dive on the messages, if they want to go back and kind of get them all in a short version, you can, my book just came out, which is called What's Coming Next. And that has a summary, as well as shares all the original transcripts with summaries of all the messages that kind of cherry picked from the last 4 years about all of these events. And yes, if somebody wants to engage in, especially if someone does not yet have a regular healing practice in this time right now, that is such a special time for growth, such a special time to be able to access so many parts of ourself. Peace Bathing is my monthly healing program. And it's a beautiful way to keep pace with the energies as they are shifting around us. So I encourage people to find that on my website.
On that note, any last words, anything you want to share, anything you're most excited about? I want to leave people with their eye on the prize, focusing on the future or this beautiful future moment that's right now, rather than any of the
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is the thing. I'd say that would be my final thought, would be that one of the things the angels have said again and again is to continue to invest in our lives where we are, that it doesn't matter that we're all the exchange that we're looking forward to, that we're anticipating. They said, whatever energy you put into your life now will carry through. Even if, say, for example, you're investing in like a college fund for your kids and you're worried about the stock market crashing. They said, okay, if that happens, the energy of you investing in your children's future, that's what carries forward. So don't stop. Like if you're thinking of starting a new business right now and you're like, well, maybe I should wait because there's big volcano. No, start. If you're feeling guided, if you're feeling the time is right, start, because the energy will carry you through. And so that is the thing, is that we only grow when we're engaged and we're investing in our life and in our journey. So that's the thing, is there's never a moment that we're meant to stop and wait.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anne. And I couldn't agree more. And I like that you said specifically about kids and college fund, because we're going to go, well, I guess I won't start a new job. I guess I won't move. I guess I won't. No, live.
Yes, live. That's it. Take the trip, like book the tickets, just, maybe buy the insurance if you're not sure. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, do it. Do the things, and then trust if you're not meant to be on that trip, something will prevent you from going. Do the things and just trust you'll be where you're meant to be when you're meant to be there.
I love it. So for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler saying, be well, have fun. You be you, especially during this time, and above and beyond all else, shine bright. Woohoo! Wow, wow, wow. What special energy today. If you just listened to this, if you didn't pay attention to a single word of this, but you focused on the energy, or just let yourself bathe in that energy, it'll bring you up, 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 and way up. That's actually the purpose of our School of Mystics as well, where 4 Wednesdays each month, live or recorded, we help bring your energy up, shift you to a higher plane, help you to see the world from that higher perspective, allowing you to navigate in any challenges going on in the world today. We clear wounds, we clear blocks, we bring the vibration up, we do attunements, we do clearings, we do meditations, we do teachings to help you to live at this higher level, to live at the level of the mystic. Link down below to join us for that. If you simply want to bring your energy up on a daily basis, come on over to dailywoohoo.com, absolutely free, dailywoohoo.com, my daily newsletter to bring your energy up each and every day. If you want to communicate, learn how to channel on the other side of the veil, go to automaticwriting.com. Classes once every month live, plus can start with a recording and be channeling tomorrow. And on that note, here's a link to the next amazing show. Love you so, so much. Keep on shining bright. Woohoo! How does it get any better than this? Well, love. I love you. I love you. I love you. Be well.